Evening everyone, hope you're all well and welcome to this week's GuitarQuest lesson. So this week, well similar to last week I said we're hoping to finish off GuitarQuest 3 and this week I really hope we finish GuitarQuest 3. So we sort of rushed over one of the ones at the end last week, so we'll spend a bit of time on that and then hopefully get on to the final exercise. So before we do that, just a few little things to think about. So if you are on a device which has any notifications or anything like that, if you can turn them off, that'd be great, so we can get our undivided guitar time for the next half an hour. If there's any children watching, then having that out in the room just to help kind of explain any ideas and things, that's always going to be helpful. Otherwise I think that's it, yeah, so we'll check our tuning, so that's going to be our first bit as always. Just going to move over this way a little bit. Okay, so we'll start with our bottom E string, so just want to make sure yours sounds the same as this basically. And then our A string, fifth string. To D, and then G, and then B, and finally our top E string. Okay, cool. So hopefully you're all in tune. Quick reminder as well, just keep that guitar nice and upright. Try not to let it slide away from you too much. You have to work a bit harder with your left hand. So yeah, nice and upright. Make sure you're in a posture that works for you, whether that's kind of the more modern posture like what I'm doing, or if you want to go classical, that's fine. Whatever works really. So, okay. So we are going to go to page 22 of GuitarQuest 3 and we're going to recap the notes in the 5th position. So a couple of weeks ago we started looking at this. So you've got C, 3rd string, 5th fret, D at the 7th, then we come on to the 2nd string, E at the 5th, F at the 6th fret, G at the 8th fret, then we go to the 1st string, A at the 5th fret, B at the 7th fret, and C at the 8th. Okay, so we are going to try and play that together. So we're going to run up and down these notes. Something like that, just a little bit slower. Okay, and if you can, try and say the note names out loud, or at least try and think of them as you go. What we want to be trying to do is to associate each note with where it is on the fretboard. So one of the goals as a guitarist is to know the fretboard. So the more you can do that and the more you can make sense of it, then the better it's going to be in the long run. So let's give it a go. Starting on the C, 3rd string, 5th fret. Okay, so after 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. And come straight back down to B, then A, G, F, E, D, and C. Okay, cool. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can manage that. If it's going well, remember with your right hand you want to be trying to alternate those fingers as best you can. And that'll just it just helps develop all sorts of good technique and stuff. So definitely something to include. But obviously gives you something extra to think about as well. So just perhaps something to incorporate into your practice. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to have a go at number 27 now. So we played this the last couple of weeks. Certainly 2 weeks ago we did the first bit. I think we only covered the second bit last week. So we'll go over it slowish to begin with and then we'll play it together. So with this one, it's kind of similar to the above. We're starting on the C and we're running up a few notes of the scale. So we've got C to D to E, and then we're going to skip the F, go up to the G at the 8th fret, and back to E again. In the second bar, we're going to go to F at the 6th fret, play it a couple of times, back to E at the 5th, F at the 6th, G at the 8th, and A, 1st string, 5th fret. Okay, so if I just play that bit again, so you've got C, D, E, G, E, E, I'm going to go to F, F, E, F, G, A. Okay, I seem to end up singing that a little bit as well, which is not necessarily my strong point, but there we go. Okay, so on to the third bar. We start on the A where we finished the previous one. Then we're going to go G again, 2nd string 8th, back to the A at the 5th fret, and then we've got B at the 7th fret and C at the 8th fret. That's tied, so timing wise we're going to go 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And then onto the 4th bar we come back to the B, and then A, G and B. Okay, so that's the first 4 bars. They get repeated, so we'll cover that in a minute when we play through the whole thing. Now the next 4 bars, possibly a little bit easier. So we're going to start C, 1st string 8th fret, down to the B, down to the A, and then back to the C. Timing wise, it's 1, 2 and 3, 4. And same again in the next bar. Next one starts the same, so, but you just repeat those notes. So C, B, A, C, B, A, and then bar 8, come back to the B at the 7th fret, A at the 5th, G at the 2nd string 8th, and E 2nd string 5th. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. At which point we go back and play the first 3 bars again for our DCL coda instruction. And then we jump down to the final bar in the corner there, and we just got the final 3 notes: B, 1st string 7th, G, 2nd string 8th, and E, 2nd string 5th fret. So as I say, we've been over this one, well, we went over it in a fair amount of detail last week, so probably, you know, if you're finding it a bit tricky, check out last week's video. But otherwise, let's just have a go at playing it. So we're going to include the repeats. So you do bars 1 to 4 twice, bars 5 to 8 twice, and then you go back and do bars 1 to 3, and then drop down to bar 9 just to finish off with. So let's give it a go. After 4, we're going to take it nice and slow. Okay, so I'm going to count 3 and 4 and just to help guide us in. Okay, so 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. We're going to repeat that. C, and on to bar 5, up to the C, 3, 4, so it's 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Then we repeat those 4 bars. 2, 1, 2, and go back to the beginning, first 3 bars again. Coda, B, G and E. Okay, cool. So, if that went well, give yourself a pat on the back. Playing in fifth position is it's a slightly different challenge to what we've been playing earlier. We've been playing down here, so yeah, it's just something to get used to. So if you're finding it tricky, just keep going. You will get there. Just can take a bit of time. So okay, let's go on to number 28. So we talked about this last time as well, and I felt afterwards like maybe I've sort of rushed it a little bit, so I'd like to just spend a few minutes on it again this evening. In terms of the structure, we've got 4 lines. The first 3 lines are all played twice, so line 1 twice, line 2 twice, line 3 twice, and finally we get onto the last line. And the last line has the semiquavers in, remembering that semiquavers are faster again. So to demonstrate, if we were playing crotchets at this speed, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, and quavers would be twice as fast, and semiquavers. And that kind of thing. So that in itself can be good practice, just to sort of get used to hearing the difference. So yeah, so just to recap, what I did was you set whatever speed feels comfortable, or tempo I should say, and you do 4 crotchets, 3, 4, then we do quavers, so double the speed, 3 and 4, and then semi-quavers, and just use that as a bit of technique practice, and it's about getting the right hand fingers able to move a little bit faster, and then in terms of getting the left hand to move a little bit quicker, we will just focus on that when we get to the last line of exercise 28. But anyway, let's recap the detail of number 28. So we start on the G, 2nd string 8th fret, got 2 of those, up to the A, and then back to the G again. Back to the A, G, and then F. So mainly just G's and A's there, just watching out for that F at the end. Bar 3, we've got E's a couple of times. G, G, E, G. So we're doing 5th fret, 5th fret, 8th, 5th, 8th. And then the last bar, we've got the B and the C's. So 1st string 7th fret and 1st string 8th fret. So I'll just play that line for you again. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then that line's played twice. I should mention, sorry, I should have said earlier, if you've got any questions, do fire away in the comments, and I will endeavour to answer them as best I can. So yeah, looking at the second line, this line's a bit easier really. So you've got G's in the first bar, so it's just watching out for those rests really, so we want to try and cut the sound off if we can. So we're going to go 1 and 2, 3, 4. Then in the next bar, same rhythm exactly, but we're going to go to the A, 1st string 5th fret, 1 and cut the sound off, 3, 4, same again, 2, 3, 4, up to the 8th fret for the A, same pattern again, 2, 3, 4, and then that would be repeated. And then the third line is just the same as the first line again. So hopefully one that you can sort of be reasonably okay with. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So I won't go over that again now. Let's have a look at the last line. This is where we've got the quavers. So we played a G to start off with. This lasts for 2 beats. We're going to go 1, 2, and then as we come on to this beat 3, we're going to play G, E, D, B. If you're feeling, well, so it's written to play them as pull-offs. So you play the G, do the little flick with this finger. We talked about these before. Again, if you're not used to them or whatever, there's lessons earlier where we talked about this in more detail, so please do refer back to those and get a bit more detail on that kind of thing. But effectively you play the note and then we're just going to slightly flick down with that finger, You don't want it to be anything too much. You don't want to bend the string or anything like that, but just a gentle little flick so you can hear the open string. And then same on the D to the B. So yeah, so our timing then, if we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and so if you wanted to count it, you could count 3 and but obviously that's got to be faster. So if you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's your sort of count if you want to do it. Or you could use words. So you could use, for those bunch of 4 semiquavers there, you could say the word caterpillar. So you go 1 and 2 and caterpillar, and then on to the next bit. So hopefully that makes sense. And then the final 3 notes of that bar, we've got A, which is a semiquaver. I'm sorry, a quaver first, and then we've got A to G as semiquavers. So those, say from beat 3 there, we've got, and that's our timing to finish off with, okay? So if we were using words, we could go caterpillar hot chocolate, like caterpillar hot chocolate. Or if you're counting it, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, and then finish on a G on beat 3 of the next bar. So hopefully that makes sense. Because the semiquavers are going to be faster and they're going to be a little bit more challenging, we want to make sure we don't start too fast. So this is mainly for my benefit really, because it'd be easy to set off a bit quick. But if we aim to play the semiquavers at this speed, so our pulse is this kind of thing. Okay, so we'll go from the beginning, and I'll just try and talk you through it. Good luck everybody. So after 4, okay, so 3 and 4 and. Back to the beginning of that line. Second line, rest, 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 rest. Repeat that line. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the third line. I think I'm going too fast, I'm going to slow down a little bit. G, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so despite me saying at the start, let's go really slowly, I somehow ended up going a lot faster than I intended. So do let me know if you want me to go over that again, but a bit slower. But otherwise, you know, hopefully you could keep up with it, especially that last line. Obviously, it's a bit faster than anything we played before. Really, it's just a kind of dipping the toe in the water in terms of semiquavers. And when we go on to GuitarQuest 4, which we'll be doing in the next few weeks, there'll be more of a focus on semiquavers and just trying to get to understand them a little bit more. So, okay, so if you managed it, very well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. And we are going to go on to the final exercise from GuitarQuest 3, which is number 29. And this is just an accompaniment to the previous one we were just playing, number 28. So with this, if I just bring the music up onto the screen briefly. So this pattern here, this, oh, I say that, I haven't, oh no, I have shared it, sorry. forgot I've done that. Okay, so this pattern here, this is, if you remember back to earlier in the book, and we worked on a strumming pattern in particular, and we called it the world's most common strumming pattern. That's what this is here. So this is our down, down, up, down on our G chords. Then we're going to do the same pattern on D minor, the same pattern on A minor, and when we get to C, we're going to change the pattern a little bit and go 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Or count it another way, down, up, down, like that. So I'm just going to take that off the screen just so I can demonstrate that a bit clearer. So we're going to start with the G. So just we'll recap the chords. Hopefully you know them, but if not, they're all in GuitarQuest 3 anyway. So G, middle finger 6th string 3rd fret, first finger 5th string 2nd. Then you've got a choice here. The easiest option is probably 3rd finger to the 1st string 3rd fret, but you could go with 3rd finger to the 2nd string 3rd fret and add pinky to the 1st string 3rd. Either's fine, whatever you prefer. Typically you start off with the 3-finger G option because you've got 3 fingers to think about rather than 4. And then as you progress, you'll probably go on to this one, and you might find this becomes more of your default G anyway. But yeah, let me know, if you try both, which ones you prefer. So yeah, so we've got that G, and we're going to go down, down, up, down. So the same strum pattern we did, we did it for a few weeks ago. Then we go on to D minor. So D minor, we've got the 1st string 1st fret with the 1st finger, 3rd string 2nd fret with the middle finger, and then 2nd string 3rd fret with the 3rd finger. Or you could go pinky if you find that stretch a bit tricky or a bit uncomfortable. 3rd finger is the most common option typically. Do the same pattern on that. Then A minor, hopefully one you're reasonably familiar with by now, because we did cover this a while back now. But 2nd string 1st fret with the 1st finger. Your middle finger is going to go 4th string 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger goes 3rd string 2nd fret. Do the same strum pattern there, and then for the last bar when we get onto C, all you need to do, I say all, you just have to move this 3rd finger over to the 5th string 3rd fret, and that's the C chord. Having the coordination to move just one finger does take a bit of time, so again, don't worry too much if you find you're lifting all the fingers off and planting them back down again. It's just something to work on. And I've had it in lessons before as well where I can say that to people and they can think it, and then their fingers and their hands do something slightly different. So it's not totally uncommon if you find if that's happening to you, so you're not alone. It just takes a bit of time, so just try and persevere with it and you'll be fine. So when we get to the C, we're going to change our strumming pattern and we're going to go down, up, down, and time wise that's 1 and 2 and 3, and then nothing will be 4. So if I demonstrate the first line, we're going to go with our usual very common strumming pattern. So down, down, up, down, D minor, same pattern, A minor, same pattern, then the different one on the C. Okay, and then we repeat that. And then when we come to the second line, we're going to mimic what the melody line does. So if you remember, it kind of did that sort of thing. So here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've written them all as down strums. You could do them all as downs or as ups. Down up if you want on those quavers. If you want a slightly more aggressive kind of tone or more rocky kind of tone, then going downs is going to be the way to go. So you get just a slightly more aggressive kind of feel to it. So, and that, I don't mean that in a bad way, I should clarify, like, if you listen to rock music and stuff, it's not that it's aggressive, but it's got a harder edge to it, and so doing lots of down strums can be a way that that's achieved. So, okay, so it's the same chords again, so we're just going to go down, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, and then C, 2, 3, 4. And to mute the sound, because we want to cut the sound off, I'm bringing my right hand just flat across the strings, 2, 3, 4. So you just, as if, you know, someone's making a noise on the guitar and you want them to be quiet, you'd put your hand across the string. So that's all we're going to do. And I say these things, I don't mean to sound flippant at all. It's, you know, when you play a long time, that's a very straightforward thing to do. When you're starting off, that might be a slightly odd kind of motion, but just, again, persevere with it and you will get it. So, okay, so that's the third line, and then, sorry, the second line, sorry. Then the third line is just the same as the first one again. And then when we come to the final line, this is a lot easier than the previous exercise because it's leaving space for, in exercise 28, where you've got the semiquavers and this sort of flourish on the guitar. So we're just going to do a single strum for bar 13, sorry. So single strum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want that final strum, which is on beat 3 of bar 14 there, we just want that to be, you know, fairly punchy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. You could make it punchier by bringing your hand down a bit sooner. It's up to you. You know, play along with the video and see what you prefer, what you think sounds best, really. So, okay, so we're going to give it a go. We're going to take it nice and slow. Do all the repeats and everything. So very best of luck. If you find you're struggling to change between the chords quick enough, you could always, for example, in the first bar, do that and then change chords. So you're giving yourself a little bit longer in between when you strummed and when the next one is. So just try and make it work. Try and keep it going. And good luck. Okay, so after 4, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. D minor, A minor, different pattern on the C, back to G, D minor, A minor, just move that third finger for the C, that's the G, cut the sound off, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, you're going to repeat that line, G, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 3, 4, move one finger for the C, 3, 4, then third line, back to our other pattern, A minor, move the third finger for the C, so I messed that up a little bit, D minor, A minor, then the other strum pattern on the C, 3, 4, then the G, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great stuff. Okay, so yeah, apologies. First time I played line 3 in the C chord bar, so the last bar of that line, I forgot to change the strumming pattern, so apologies about that. But the second time around, it was correct. So yeah, just goes to show like it's quite easy to forget to do things when you're focusing on other things. So, but let's have a listen to that tune. So obviously it's going to sound very similar to the previous exercise, but hopefully in this mix the melody's dropped a little bit and the chords are a little bit clearer. So yeah, let me just bring the music back up onto the screen and hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Okay, good. So that is, well, that was, I should say, the final exercise from GuitarQuest 3. So well done on getting this far, and hopefully you enjoyed that one as well. So I think it's good to kind of do a bit of chord playing and things as well, just to kind of develop that side of our playing. So we will finish up there for today. Obviously it's a good place to leave it. One of the things I had hoped to do was to chat a little bit about tuning the guitar by ear, so we will do that next week. So probably next week, which is actually going to be the last one before half term, so it's half term in the UK, so I'll take that week off. So we're going to do next week, then we'll have a week off and we'll reconvene. So next week we'll go back over these exercises, predominantly talk about tuning the guitar by ear, and we might throw in a couple of other ones from earlier in the book just to recap some of the other ideas. It just sort of depends how the time goes, really. So yeah, things to practice then. I would keep doing the notes in the fifth position. I do those as a warm-up. Just keep trying to get used to playing the notes. Keep trying to associate the note names with where they are on the fretboard and that kind of thing. So that's a really good one to do. Other than that, mainly exercises 28 and 29 I think would be the ones to go over. We might do number 27 as well next week. We'll see how we feel. But yeah, I think predominantly it's going to be 28 and 29 because they're the newest ones. And yeah, as I say, we'll then start talking about tuning the guitar by ear. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the lesson today, please do give the video a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, fire away either now in the comments thing, or if you're watching it later on, you've got the comments underneath there. Just put a comment in there and I will endeavour to get back to you. Remember, all the lessons go up on my YouTube channel and all the backing tracks and everything are there. So it's just a quick reminder in terms of the way I would suggest you practice. I would recommend that you play it on your own first, try and get it down more or less, then try playing with the backing track, or the demo track, and then try the backing track, which is the second half of the video. Yeah, and you should see it all come together. Remember, because they're on YouTube, you can slow the tempos down as well, so that makes it's a really great kind of way of learning, I think. So but anyway, I've waffled on enough once again. So thanks to everybody who attended today, and I will see you next week. So very best of luck with the practice, and yeah, we will just be going back over those final few bits before we start thinking about moving on to GuitarQuest 4. So okay, have a great weekend everybody, and I will see you soon. Alright, take care then. Bye bye.